Most people think luxury is rare. It isn't. In fact, some of the most exclusive products on Earth are being produced at scales that would shock the people buying them. And the craziest part? The customers funding this empire are not the ultra-rich. They're the middle class. The people saving for months, working overtime, financing handbags, buying watches they can't comfortably afford just to participate in a fantasy carefully engineered by the luxury industry. Because modern luxury is no longer built on craftsmanship, it's built on perception. And once you see how the illusion works, you'll never look at luxury the same way again. Because the truth is uncomfortable. Real luxury is dying, and most people never noticed. 100 years ago, luxury actually meant something. A luxury item was difficult to create. A master craftsman could spend weeks, sometimes months, building a single product by hand. The materials were rare. The production was limited. The buyers were few. Luxury was expensive because it was hard to make. Now, luxury is expensive because branding is powerful. That's the shift nobody talks about. And luxury companies desperately want you emotionally attached before you intellectually question the business model. Because the moment you start asking questions, the fantasy starts cracking. And once the crack appears, you begin noticing things you were never supposed to notice. Why do exclusive luxury stores exist in almost every major city now? Why are rare products constantly visible on social media? Why are luxury brands reporting record-breaking sales every single year, while still pretending exclusivity? Think about that carefully. True exclusivity cannot scale infinitely. At some point, something stops being rare. But luxury brands discovered a loophole. They realized
market psychology is all about perception. Price doesn't just cover costs, it signals status, limited runs, wait lists, a handwritten note in the box. Each one tells a story of scarcity and privilege. They are not buying exclusive products,
they buy the feeling of exclusivity. That changed everything. Because feelings can be mass-produced, and modern luxury became a psychological industry, not a craftsmanship industry. That's why two people can carry the exact same exclusive bag in the same airport, and both still believe they're expressing individuality. That contradiction should disturb you. But it gets deeper, much deeper. The luxury industry mastered something terrifying. Artificial scarcity, not real scarcity. Artificial scarcity, there's a difference. Real scarcity happens naturally. Artificial scarcity is manufactured. Intentionally, a company can produce massive quantities of a product while controlling visibility, distribution, waiting lists, and pricing to create the illusion of rarity. And humans fall for it constantly because the brain associates difficulty with value. If access is restricted, we assume importance. That's why people wait outside stores for products made in factories capable of producing thousands more. And here's the disturbing part. The waiting itself becomes part of the luxury experience. The rejection becomes marketing. The inaccessibility becomes desire. Luxury brands learned that making people feel excluded actually increases obsession. Social media made this system infinitely more powerful because now luxury isn't just purchased, it's performed. Every post becomes silent competition. Every logo becomes social signaling. Every expensive item becomes a public announcement saying, "Look where I belong." But here's the hidden tragedy. Most people buying into this system aren't rich enough to ignore money. That's the part nobody wants to admit. The truly wealthy often don't need visible luxury anymore. Many billionaires wear plain clothing, drive understated cars, avoid obvious status symbols. Because once status is truly secured, it no longer needs constant advertisement, which creates a strange paradox. The people most obsessed with looking wealthy are often the people furthest from wealth. And luxury corporations know this better than anyone. That's why modern luxury marketing doesn't target billionaires first. It targets aspiration, ambition, insecurity, comparison, identity. Especially identity, because once a brand becomes part of someone's identity, logic becomes irrelevant. And that emotional attachment is worth billions. Now, people don't just consume luxury. They build identities around being seen consuming luxury. The product became content, and content became social currency, which means luxury companies no longer rely only on advertising. Consumers advertise for them voluntarily, for free. Actually, worse than free. People pay enormous amounts of money to become walking advertisements. Think about how insane that is. Someone buys a product covered in giant logos, then promotes the company online, while believing they're expressing freedom and individuality. That's not rebellion. That's branding at its highest evolutionary form. And the scariest part? It works beautifully. You know what nobody talks about? Modern luxury isn't built on billionaires. It's built on the middle class, the entrepreneur under pressure, the person chasing respect in a world obsessed with appearances. Luxury brands understood something early. There aren't enough rich people to build billion-dollar empires, so they started selling aspiration instead. Because today, looking successful can change how people treat you. More attention, more respect, more opportunities. And honestly, that's why people buy into luxury, not because they're dumb, because society rewards perception. But here's the dangerous part. Once your identity gets tied to symbols, peace disappears, because there's always another level, a better watch, a newer car, a more exclusive circle. The chase never ends. And that's exactly what keeps luxury empires alive. Luxury didn't die. It was replaced. Most people still think luxury means craftsmanship, rare skill, precision, excellence. But today, many luxury products are industrially optimized first, then wrapped in emotional storytelling afterward. Because modern luxury often isn't selling quality. It's selling mythology, power, status, importance, belonging. That's why a product made for a fraction of the price can still sell for thousands, not because of what it is, but because of what it represents. And once people attach their identity to a brand, criticism starts feeling personal. That's the conditioning. Luxury once represented excellence. Now it often represents visibility, optics, attention, perception. The image became more important than the object itself, because craftsmanship is expensive, but hype scales infinitely. A handmade product has limits. A psychological narrative doesn't. And once perception becomes the product, reality matters less and less. That's the death of real luxury. Maybe you've already felt it. You walk into a luxury store. Everything looks flawless, perfect lighting, perfect music, perfect people. And yet, nothing feels real. Because modern luxury stopped selling craftsmanship a long time ago. Now it sells engineered emotion, manufactured desire, a carefully designed fantasy people mistake for meaning. And the terrifying part? Almost everyone is trapped inside it, chasing status, validation, attention from strangers who don't even care. But real luxury still exists. It just changed form. Today, real luxury is privacy, silence, freedom from comparison, owning less but better, having time nobody can buy back, living a life that doesn't need applause to feel valuable. That's rare now. And rarity was always the true definition of luxury. So maybe the wealthiest people in the future won't be the ones showing the most. Maybe they'll be the ones no longer controlled by the need to show anything at all. Because once you see the machine behind modern luxury, you can never unsee it. And maybe that's the real awakening. If this changed the way you see luxury forever, subscribe. Because the next illusion we expose is even bigger.